All right, so you heard her. Be careful out there, especially right here in the nation's capital. We're also monitoring weather conditions. At the same time, we are expecting the Lunar New Year parade to still take place in Washington, D.C. at 2 o'clock. So when we talk about the new year, we think of how things are going to go. So joining us now is Mindy Dunn, who is an astrologer based in Tucson, Arizona. Of course, you don't have to worry about this type of weather over there. I wanted to ask you, Mindy, I mean, what can we expect with this new eclipse going into the new year as we celebrate the parade right here in our nation?
Well, this is an interesting new moon for sure. So this took place on Mardi Gras. It took place on the Lunar New Year, which is Chinese astrology. It's in the sign of Aquarius. So this is a new start for the people in general. This helps the masses. However, the planet Mars and the planet Pluto are there. So the masses are angry. We want control. We want everyone to be equal. We want everyone to have their say. If y'all have any Aquarius sun sign friends in your life, they're really irritated about something right now. And on Monday evening, the 16th, right before this eclipse happened, there was some sort of interruption, some sort of news that came through that you can probably look back and see what was happening around New York City then. But there was a disruption, and now power is in the hands of the people, and we are wanting equality, whether it's peaceful or not, and we're angry. And so that's the vibe of this eclipse, and we can see it play out over the next few months for sure.
When we talk about the Saturn and Neptune conjunction, what does that mean for 2026?
Okay, so I'm glad you asked that. This is a really unique combination. So Saturn is the planet of structure, restriction, discipline. It a lot of times represents the patriarchy. It's the planet that wants us to do the same thing, to work hard, to have a noble burden. All the planets kind of have their own vibe, their own brand. And Saturn's brand is structure and discipline. Neptune is a more ethereal planet. It's the planet of our spirituality. It's the place where we don't see things clearly. It's what we can't see behind the curtain. It's far away in distant places. The last time Saturn and Neptune came together was in November 13th of 1989. So it has been a long time since these planets have come together, and they came together on Friday. So when Saturn and Neptune come together, their energies don't really get along well. So Neptune just likes to feel things, likes things to just go along. Neptune doesn't like boundaries. Saturn's whole world is boundaries. So, of course, keeping in theme with this, what happens above also happens below. On November 9th in 1989, the Berlin Wall fell. So that is a structure that did not hold up to ideals. Like, we didn't need to be separated like that. Also, what happened in 1989 is that we had the Exxon Valdez oil spill. So that structure did not hold back, and the waters got muddied. They got dirty. I think it's very interesting that Venezuela is in the news right now for oil. When the country of Venezuela was founded, Saturn and Neptune were together. They weren't conjunct, they weren't in the same degree, but they were both in the same sign of Sagittarius. So Venezuela definitely carries that vibe. Friday the 20th, Neptune and Saturn came together. So they hadn't seen each other since 1989. And this past Friday, Saturn and Neptune came together again. We saw some of its vibe play out when the Trump tariffs were held back by the Supreme Court. So the tariffs were restrictions on foreign countries, on places we couldn't see. And the Supreme Court held back those tariffs. And so we definitely saw that play out. We will continue to see it play out over the next few months. Saturn and Neptune will be close together through August. So that's definitely something to watch for. Back in 1989, Saturn and Neptune came together 3 different times. So when they came together on November 13th, around that time, we did have the Berlin Wall fall. There were also, on November 16th, 6 Jesuit priests who were murdered by soldiers. Soldiers, once again represent discipline, structure, that patriarchy. Jesuit priests are that ethereal, that spiritual vibe. I thought it was interesting. El Salvador translates into the Savior, so that's just more spirituality. It was those soldiers that had killed those Jesuit priests. On June 24th, 1989, Neptune and Saturn came together 3 times in 1989. On June 24th, it happened again. On June 22nd, right before it happened, the London Underground Railroad, the workers went on strike. So that Underground Railroad is something you can't see, and the workers going on strike once again halted it. That's more of Saturn's vibe. And then I thought it was so interesting. On March 3rd, 1989, I don't know if y'all remember this, Madonna's song "Like a Prayer" was released. So the day beforehand, Pepsi had released it in their commercial. Madonna, of course, is the name of Jesus' mother. And so Madonna, the singer, was restricted. A lot of religious groups did not like the song. They protested it. Her Like a Prayer tour got canceled later that month, and Pepsi pulled its sponsorship from Madonna, the Like a Prayer tour, because of that. And Neptune and Saturn came together, like I said, on March 3rd. Madonna's song got released that day as well. So we can see the themes and how they've played out in different ways. We should be able to see some more themes of this playing out over the next few months, just having to do with spirituality, not seeing things clearly, and also restrictions and rules.
Absolutely. When we're going into March at this moment, I mean, March is just a few days away now. What can we expect in the astrology world?
So we've got another eclipse coming up on March 3rd in the sign of Virgo. So this is a full moon eclipse, so we will be releasing. Virgo likes cleanliness, it likes details, it likes health. So if you are feeling the need right now build up to completely clean out your closet, to get things out of the house, to go to the vitamin shop and get a new supplement, you're feeling that because of this full moon eclipse coming up. So the Container Store is definitely going to be busy on March 2nd and 3rd. So y'all go ahead and get your supplies to get your house cleaned and together. But that will be a pretty potent eclipse. If you have any planets in your chart in Pisces or Virgo, you will definitely be feeling this quite a bit. And once again, it's almost like a sort of anxious energy where you just need to declutter. You just need to organize. You just need to get things straight. And so wherever Virgo is in your natal chart, that's going to be the area of your life that you're going to be wanting to straighten up, to get together, to organize. Just a heads up on that.
When we talk about 2026, any major historical situations, can they come up this year when you look at the astrology?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So we've talked about Saturn and Neptune coming together, and that is going to be a theme, sort of a vibe, throughout. We'll be feeling it through the summertime. Another big thing that is happening is that on April 26th, Uranus is moving from the sign of Taurus to the sign of Gemini. So the last time Uranus was in Gemini was in the years 1941 to 1949. So World War II took place the first half of that time frame. And, Syeda, I was thinking about this. War is really just violent communication. It's when, you know, oral communication fails and people try to impose their will, but it's violent communication of a message. Uranus being in the sign of Gemini, Uranus's brand, Uranus's vibe is chaos. It's surprises. It's throwing off rules. It's doing things your own way, being different. And the sign of Gemini rules communication and young people. So it was interesting looking back through the history books at what happened the last time Uranus was in Gemini. So the Dead Sea Scrolls came out. So that's like communication from the past. They just shot up. The Dead Sea Scrolls had been there, I don't know how many thousands of years, but we found them when Uranus was in Gemini. I also found it interesting, the Diary of Anne Frank was published in 1942. So typically, we don't go around reading 12-year-old girls' diaries. That's just not what we consider to be fine literature. But her diary has lasted. We read it in schools now as a way to talk about what happened in Germany during that time. And the Diary of Anne Frank was a surprising way of communicating. The first Polaroid camera also was sold during this time. So we were communicating via pictures as well. There's going to be this theme about surprising communication, maybe saying one thing and doing the other, going in a direction. We will probably start hearing people talk about communication from aliens, or there may be a disruption in technological ways of communicating, like Facebook, Instagram. We may see some more struggles there. What's interesting is that Uranus in Gemini has a 120-degree angle to Pluto in Aquarius. So this disruption in communication is going to allow the people, the masses, to have more power. There may be underground ways of communicating, new ways of talking back and forth or communicating through technology that are going to come up over these next 7 years when Uranus moves into Gemini. There's also going to be Uranus cuts off communication. So I would imagine there is going to be some time over the next 7 years where we are not going to be able to communicate. There may be downed power outages. There may be government restrictions on communication. I could also see this being community, not community, but restrictions in children communicating. So children may not be allowed to go on certain social media areas, or there may be restrictions of children with cell phones. But there's going to be some kind of chaos and a few breakthroughs as well, a few innovations, but the communication world and the world around children, you can expect to see that shift. That official shift takes place April 26th. We will be feeling it and seeing it throughout April and May, and by June, it's going to be a little bit of a new normal. Something also to consider, there has also been a history of wars, unfortunately, when Uranus has been in Gemini. So the Civil War took place 2 times ago when Uranus was in Gemini. So between 1859 and 1866, the planet Uranus was in Gemini, and the Civil War now, and throw in chaos and communication in the middle of it is not going to be helpful. But this is the time that we're in. And so that's something we have to consider. You just kind of have to roll with it. We're, all here for a journey to learn and grow. And this is just part of the journey right now.
Absolutely part of the journey. So we were speaking about 2025 in Chinese astrology. We were talking about Western astrology being the year of the wood snake, where people mentioned that they learned a lot of lessons, and the fire horse is supposed to be all things momentum. What does Western astrology say on that? Are we going towards a better year than what people experienced last year in 2025?
I think it'll probably be a better year because we've kind of become conditioned to the chaos. So, no year is wholly bad or wholly good. This is a year of growth. We are still going to be experiencing changes. I did want to bring up some good dates. I was doing the research for this and I was like, whew, it's going to be an intense year. There are going to be a lot of changes. There are going to be a lot of upsets. This is a year to hold things close to you loosely. Be prepared to let go. Be prepared for changes. I did want to mention, though, for those that are taking notes or you've got your calendar nearby, April 11th and 12th, that's the weekend. That is going to be a beautiful, fun weekend. The planet Venus is sextiling Jupiter. It's just going to be, food's going to taste better. We're going to laugh harder at jokes. The stores are going to have lots of cute stuff in it. Mars is also conjunct Neptune that weekend. So this is good drinking energy. Y'all have a glass of wine with dinner for sure. That is the weekend of the 11th and 12th. And then on between June 7th and 12th, Venus and Jupiter are coming together in the sky. That's just going to be a beautiful week. We're just going to be feeling better. We're going to be feeling lighter. Definitely, if you can take some time off that week and just run to the beach or run to the mountains, it's a great time to do it. Take a nap. That's another wonderful way to enjoy this energy. We don't take enough naps in this country. And then between July 23rd and August 22nd, this is an excellent wealth building time. So you will see the stock market grow. It's an excellent time to be buying IPOs. So the Sun and Jupiter and Pluto are coming together in a way that we're going to see some pretty interesting stocks be offered, and they're going to be big ones that, are legendary and talked about for decades.
Absolutely. Legendary. In fact,